Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, and that is Connor. We are going to talk about Black Mirror Season 2, Episode 3, the last episode of Series 2, and that is The Waldo Effect. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. And of course, we're getting near the end now of our trip through Black Mirror. Uh, and,
Temporarily.
well, temporarily. Season 3, of course, is coming next month, and this is us catching up in time. So, this episode is about a character named Jamie who voices and sort of, I wouldn't quite call it motion capture, but he controls the character. It's almost like a digital puppet.
Yeah.
Um, called Waldo, who is a like sort of joke character on like a chat show who sort of has a bit. Every week he gets his like segment where he cracks some jokes to someone or whatever.
Little bit of a sketch thing.
Yeah, yeah. But it's quite really popular, and they ask him to do a pilot for his own thing, like just a Waldo show, and the network wants him to go out and harass this politician because one of his famous bits is him making fun of this politician, so they want him to like pursue that and have that be his like first big thing, and it basically gets out of hand, and he like is constantly asked to do things increasingly that he's uncomfortable with, where he's actually getting into political debates, and of course you know exactly where it's going. It's going to end up with him having to actually run, like the cartoon character is going to run for office. And there's also a female character named Gwendolyn who he meets and is actually a part of another party. She's like the Democrats, what I say?
I can't remember who was. I feel like she might have been a Liberal Democrat or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's not really important because the main one they're making fun of is a conservative, but they have like a fling one night. They meet in the hotel and have a fling, but she calls it off the next day because she can't really be seen socializing with a comedian, and just in case he might use material that she says in an act or something while she's like running for office. So she calls it off, and that upsets him because we see at the start of the episode he's kind of a bit unstable because of like past relationships. Like he's you see him on the phone with an old girlfriend or someone he's just broke up with, and you see that he's in a bit of a rough place. But he's happy with her, Gwendolyn, and she breaks it off, and it kind of pisses him off. And the episode kind of explodes from there. So it's funny because I kind of enjoyed watching this one quite a bit, but at the same time, I think it might be the weakest episode so far.
Okay. Why would you think that?
Why do I think it's the weakest?
Yeah.
I think the things this episode is about, and there's two main sort of things going on here. There's the one where politics is a joke. They're all basically cartoon characters anyway, so hence an actual cartoon character is going to run and potentially, and as we see in the episode, wins. He does win at the end.
He doesn't win.
Yes, he does. Does he not?
No, he comes second. But that was the whole point, that he would get popular enough anyway that they could spin him out
Well,
elsewhere.
I misremember it. It doesn't really matter though, because the
But he doesn't win that vote, but he essentially kind of wins anyway by spreading.
whatever, he's a close second, and then yeah, we see in the post credit scene that it's spread as it's hinted, and we'll get to that point later because I want to talk about that. But yeah, so he runs and almost wins. The other side of the story is that, and this kind of harkens back to episode 2 from the first season, where one of the themes was when the corporation, or yeah, the corporation, like once they get a hold of something you've created, they turn it into a soulless, mass produced thing that loses everything that made it a piece of art or whatever in the first place.
Yeah.
Because not that Jamie's even seems to be that proud of Waldo, in the first place. But once he starts being asked to do all these things, and this American guy comes in, oh, you've made a, non-political standing character a political viable format that we can use worldwide, and tries to turn it into a franchising thing almost. And like he's obviously offended by this, and like. So here's my problem with the episode. Both of these are really on the nose. There's no thinking involved in analysing this They're,
No, no, there's not.
they're clearly on the surface. They're right there for you, which is probably why I remembered him winning at the end, because
Because it feels like he won.
it feels like he did. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Um,
that you know that American guy when he comes in, he says to him, "But we can't win." He goes, "No, you left it too late. You can't win, but it doesn't matter."
yeah. And then the other one is, again, it's on the surface. We've already explored it. I just feel like in terms of the stories in Black Mirror, this one feels by far the least original of any of the episodes.
Okay.
And I don't think it actually has anything new to say. Like the whole thing where someone will run for a joke and then they end up winning or come close to winning. I've seen that done before. I've seen that joke brought up in other things. I've seen that done. I can't name you them, but I know I've seen
I
it.
get that, but does that make it any less worth doing? Because it's still very relevant today. We have massive protest votes happening right now.
Do you know what the thing is though? I think you maybe feel that a little bit more than you would have, purely because the Trump thing is going on right now.
Well, not even just the Trump thing. We just saw it with Brexit, where a lot of people said they voted to leave as a protest vote, and that is kind of what that's covering. Obviously, the protest vote is the character, where we see some of the people interviewed say they're doing it because
Yeah, yeah.
he's not like the system.
They laugh at him and he makes fun of stuff, but then of course in the end, because another problem I had is I thought the mid credit scene where Jamie wakes up in a future, which is like 2020, 2025, whatever it is, like,
Yeah,
and it's like Waldo is now this big corporate thing. He's on TV screens. We're in a
it's on
police
literally
state.
every channel.
Yeah, and I'm like, I had a problem with that scene. I felt like that scene felt so out of place because everything else in the episode felt like it was set present day, but with this character. Like it
I
was set in our
agree.
world, and
That felt like I needed an episode between them.
it just felt hokey to me.
Fair enough. It feels like I needed an episode between the two to explain how we got from one to the other because it felt like a big jump.
You also didn't need it. You got the point. Him lying in the bed, watching, Waldo almost win, like, and his disgust at it, like that was enough. You know,
Yeah,
Jamie realizing what was happening and what was wrong with it was enough. You didn't need any more than that. At the same time, I did enjoy watching it. Like I didn't have an unpleasant time going through it. Um, you know, Jamie attacking the comedians was always entertaining, especially when he gets really emotional about it in that one scene after she's like stopped talking to him and he's upset
yeah.
about it. And
When they're having the televised debate.
it's a televised debate, yeah, and he starts like he goes into the conservative really badly, and then he attacks her as well, and brings up something that she told him
Yeah,
about only doing it to essentially build a showreel of being a politician because she didn't really care about actually winning this one. Um, and I don't know. I feel like it's just probably the most shallow of all the episodes, and because of that, it wasn't as.
I get that. I think I enjoy it more because I'm a big fan of political satire anyway. So it kind of I had a lot of fun with it for those reasons. Perhaps I mean I know you said you enjoyed it, but I think I enjoyed it more because I really enjoy political satire, and a lot of my favorite stuff is that.
I think my main problem. I think this goes back to me saying that the everything's on the surface, and I've seen these things done before. I think the main problem I have with it more than anything else is just the fact that it just kept doing exactly what I was expecting it to.
Mm.
Whereas, look at the last episode. That last episode kept shifting and turning into different things. At the start of the episode, I thought it was going to make one point, and then, oh no, it's making a completely different point because this is actually what's going on. Whereas this one, I was like, this is what's going to happen,
I get
and it
that,
happened.
but for me that's not a bad thing. Not always, because I enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed it so much and well enough that even though it was something I've seen before and it wasn't original, it did what you expected. It did it well enough that I didn't mind.
But would you agree that this is the first episode of Black Mirror that's been like that? Think about it. Think about all
Yeah,
the other
no,
episodes.
no, I would agree that it is the first that's like that. But I don't. I still think I enjoyed it more than a couple of others.
Okay.
Definitely, I definitely enjoyed it more than that episode 2 of the first series.
Nah, I probably don't. And I thought that was the weakest of the first season, but nah, I still think I like that one more. I think that one has more. Like at least with that one, it's making like points that I've made before, but it does it in such a
A different way.
it goes in such an all out like extreme way. And I did complain that in that episode it felt like it was just a metaphor and there was no world around the metaphor, but at least I thought it was making its points in a much more interesting way than this was. I mean, obviously, for the end of season 2 now, and we're going to compare the seasons, I do think season 1 as a whole is much stronger than the second season. I don't want to say I'm disappointed, 'cause I don't think it was bad, but I feel like if you look at those 3 episodes from season 1 and compare them to the 3 of season 2, I feel like season 1's much stronger on average.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Alright, okay.
Because I felt like they're both a bit more like. See, the first episode of season 2 is my favourite of the show.
See, that's the thing, for me, I'd probably say that was weaker on all season 1 as well.
Exactly, but for me that was my favourite one. So, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. For me, like episode 2 of season 2, White Bear, is probably the only one that I think is up to the standard of season 1.
Fair enough.
But, yeah. Oh, is there anything else you want to talk about this episode specifically, though, before we...
No, like I said, because it is so surface, I feel there's less to talk about because
There
it is all just there and it's all cards on the table, which is kind of a shit in terms of like analysis. It is a bit of a shame, but I enjoyed watching it, so I can't really complain too much either.
Yeah. And again, going back to the whole, the corporations take it and make it a soulless, like, merchandisable franchise thing, is all it's all accented when he gives up the character, but then the other guy just swoops in and starts doing it, and he realizes that nothing's lost. Almost like he was irrelevant.
I do wish there'd been a little bit more time. You know, where he comes in and he kind of watches him struggling how to use the hands and stuff, and he's already changed his mind and he's like, oh, all right, fine, I'll do it. I wish there was a little bit more time spent in that section where he was not on board.
Okay.
I feel like that could have been added a bit of something interesting in there.
Yeah, it didn't take a long time for him to change his mind.
He came around very quickly. I feel like that was probably the weakest part of the episode for me. The fact that this, what should have been a big major decision, just felt like, whatever.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so that's the second season of Black Mirror wrapped up, which leaves us with one episode left to cover until we're caught up, and that is the Christmas special starring John Hamm. You can expect that probably in about a week time. Actually, it'll probably next Sunday, because the rest of the week's so busy with TV that next Sunday's the best place for it to slot it in as an extra. So
And we have to have time to watch this on top of everything else that's coming.
yeah. This week coming is the first busy week of the fall. New TV onslaught.
It's kind of the new year.
Yeah, it's the new year as far as TV is concerned. So
Yeah.
let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below, as well as the season as a whole. How do you think it stacks up against season 1? How do you think this episode stacks up against the rest? And so on and so forth. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz. And so thanks for watching, guys. We will see you next time.